One of my most favorite kind of media to consume on YouTube is watching random strangers talk about their most favorite books. And I realized that I haven't done my most favorite reads of 2024 video. So here I am, better late than never, I guess, to share with you my top favorite reads of 2024. So if you're new here, hi, I am Srishta. Welcome to Her Chaotic Mind, or welcome back. This is a place where I talk about books, movies, and everything that gave my little heart some joy. If you think that it is something that you would be interested in, so please consider subscribing and stay tuned for more such content ahead. So last year, that is 2024, I read 31 books, and I know that's not a lot for a lot of people. This year I have decided to read 50 books. I don't know, my just goals are very fluctuating when it comes to my reading habits. But in 2024, I was able to discover some of my most favorite reads. So let's just start. Let's just start talking about my most favorite books. Starting off really strong with a book that I gave 4.5 stars to. This is V.E. Schwab's Wishes. If you have been here on my channel, you know that I absolutely love V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue. That is my most favorite book of all times. And even though that is a book talking about the repercussions of a woman who sold her soul, I would sell my soul to reread the book for the first time yet again. So as soon as I finished that book, I knew that I had to read everything that V. Schwab's, right? So I picked up Wishes. This is a duology and I have only read the first part. So this is the quintessential morally grey characters that you would find anywhere in this realm of fictional world, okay? So this is the story of Victor and Eli, who are friends but also academic rivals, but then absolute enemies. And I don't know, I almost felt like they had so much of palpable chemistry that they could have turned into lovers, but they didn't. And they are on a pursuit of attaining the unattainable. They have discovered that supernatural powers could be attained if you could challenge your biological existence to the highest extent ever. And even though they started this quest of attaining these powers together, they part ways. And they part ways very brutally. And that rivalry just goes on. And we meet countless immemorial characters in between. And this is a wonderful, wonderful book. The best part about this book is that it doesn't end in a cliffhanger. Yes, there is some lingering suspense, but I didn't felt the urgency of picking up the next read as soon as I finished this book, and I think that it is a good thing. I have heavily annotated this book because I absolutely adored the character of Victor and also Eli to some point. I love the side characters that were there, the beautiful bond that they created. So if you are someone who enjoys academic rivals and morally grey characters and also found family trope, I think this book would be perfect for you. And this is so underrated. I have not seen a lot of people recommend this book. So yeah, here is your chance to read Wishes by V. Schwab. The next book that I want to talk about, I listened to the audiobook of it. That is The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I believe that she is really famous for her The Housemaid series, which I have not read yet, but I really like her for writing very unpredictable endings. And like if you are a sucker for plot twists just like I am, you are absolutely gonna love her work. So I read The Locked Door and The Perfect Son. The Perfect Son is my favorite because in this son, Liam is every mother's dream child. He is good looking, he is good at studies, he participates in all his co-curriculars, he is very charming as well as well-mannered. So yeah, he is a dream come true, right? That's not the case. Liam's mom is very much aware of the darkness that lives inside her son. So she is not gonna look past the fact that Liam, at the very tender age of innocence when he was in kindergarten had locked up one of his classmates and left her to die. That happened. So when one of the girls that he really has a crush on goes missing, Liam's mom knows that her son is a suspect, and she believes that, and she is determined to make sure that things don't go out of hand. And that is basically the premise of the book. It is amazing, amazing, specifically because Liam's mom, a person, his family, a person who is supposed to be, always be supportive of him, is the one who knows his secret and is always on his toes and is continuously doubting him, and the ending is gonna shock you to hell. That is a book that you would absolutely enjoy. So if you are looking for a thriller that has a badass plot twist at the end, The Perfect Son is the book that you need to pick up. The next book that I'll be talking about is part of a series, actually the third book in the series. This is The Emperor from the Dark Wars series by Runix. So my friend Simran got me hooked up to this series. She is an avid dark romance reader, and one day she just told me that, Srisha, you have to read the Dark Wars series. And like a very good friend, I started reading it. I have not finished it yet. It's really strange actually, because I read 3 of the books like in a span of a week or 2 at max, but after that I have put myself on hold because the last part, that is the Syndicate, was not out back then, and I thought that I would just hold my horses and wait till it's out so that I could read all the books together, like from the book that is after this, The Finisher, the Annihilator, and the Syndicate. But I have not got to it yet. So yeah, without blabbering, let me just tell you about the Emperor. So this is a dark romance. Obviously there is Dante and then is Amara, and they are truly the opposite attracts kind of a couple. This book is full of yearning, and this book is full of, like waiting for your romance, waiting for the right time. This book is the definition of how a man can literally treat you like a princess, and that would make the whole world treat you like a queen. It's beautiful. Like I cannot really tell you what really goes on in this story because it's part of a series and the books are really interconnected, but Dante and Amara are my favorite. Okay, I love them. They have a piece of my heart. The way they spent years waiting for one another and each other's company with like the bare minimum contact that they could had, and the way it is described, the beauty of this book is brilliant. Yeah. So even if, like, I don't think that you can really read it like a standalone, but the Dark Wars series is pretty interesting, so you can definitely pick it up. The next book that I'm gonna talk about is completely different from the type of books that I have been talking about. This is Kim Jiyoung, born 1982. This is feminist literature, and oh my god, I loved it. I loved it. You can just look at the annotations of this really tiny book and you can tell that this is a book that is truly and deeply loved. So this book is basically no plot, just vibes, in the sense that it's more of the ideas and ideologies and the thought process. It is really thought-provoking. The number of conversations that I have that was channeled from this book is insane. Okay, I had conversations with my mother, with my boyfriend, with my friends, and even though I was not directly talking about the book, I was talking about the themes that are put forward in this book. In this book, Kim Jiyoung is a very average South Korean girl who has lived her life like any other girl out there. She had faced the wrath of sexism without even thinking a lot about it, just casually accepting it, just like all of us, I guess. And she's fed up. She's just done being on the losing side of this war. And it's not even a war, it's just basic life, and it feels so hurtful to be this person who always have to sacrifice, who always have to be the person who understands and is not being understood, and she slowly starts losing her mind. That's basically this book. It is brilliantly written. I am just amazed at Jimmy Chang, who's the translator of this book, for the immense skill that this person has, because this never felt like I am reading a translated work. It is brilliantly translated and every word hit hard. I have almost underlined the whole book, and I have, like, I can show you something. Like, there are times I have written paragraphs in this book. Okay, and there were times when I wanted to underline the whole page, so just I drew these lines because every word is important in this book, and this is a very essential read. I insist that if you have not read this already, you should. This is a great book. This is a brilliant piece of literature. You have to read this one. The next book that I'm going to talk about is from a genre that is my recent favorite genre right now. It is fantasy. This is a high fantasy book, and even though I ignored this book like one of those great guys whom we ignore for all the red flags, but oh my god, I had DNF'd this book for a whole year. This is An Amber in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and I feel so sad that I did not persist through and finish this book when I picked it up for the first time. Actually, this is high fantasy, and I have not read that many high fantasies, so the world building took a lot of time for me to grasp and like truly understand its essence. But bro, when it started hitting, it hit me hard. It hit me like a double-decker bus. This is a story of Leia, who is a scholar girl, like from a scholar family, and this is a dystopian world where scholars have truly lost their identity because they are being tortured brutally by the masks. There is this graded society where very limited top section barbaric kind of a clan rules over the whole nation, territory, kingdom, empire, and this is a story of revolution. This is a story of going against the system. This is a story of a weakling morphing herself into a powerful dynamite character, and I don't know how else to describe it, but each and every character in this book is deeply flawed, and yet I would set my soul on fire for them. I love Leia, I love Elias, I love Keenan, and I love Helen, and oh my god, each and every character, they have my heart. And obviously there are a lot of characters that I hate. I want to skin and probably gouge their eyes out, but yeah, I also love a lot of characters, and I cannot wait to read this whole series because I'm so invested, and this is such a great book. So if you are into high fantasy, or if you want to read like incredible world building with real political issues symbolized as a fantasy novel, then this is the kind of book that you would want to pick up. This is An Amber in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Now, on the second last in the list is a fan fiction, and I know that a lot of you might think that fan fictions are not actual literature and have any literary significance. I don't care. I absolutely love this book, and I am going to talk about it. The book that I'm going to talk about is the Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Falling in Love. This is slow burn. This is enemies to lovers. This is so slow that you feel like you are moving at a pace of a snail throughout the story. But when it hits you, oh my god. You know, when Malfoy becomes Draco and Granger becomes Hermione, oh my god, the way they fall for each other is, this is brilliant. And this is not just a romance. I also love the world building. I love the story. I love how Hermione is given this actual importance that she should have been given in the real books. Like, she is an important character, but then again, like, all my unacquainted desires for a character are being met by these fan fictions. So yeah, it's one of the best things that I have. If you have read Manacled and you are scarred by it, this is the book that you need to read. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Even if you are not into fan fiction, I think you should read this book. And the best part is that it is gonna be released as an actual novel with like some changes here and there. But in my mind, I'll know that it's Hermione and Draco, and I just can't wait for the book to be released in India so that I can get my hands on it. Finally, I'll have a physical copy of it. So yeah. Please read the Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Falling in Love, because it's lovely. It's beautiful. It's long as hell, but it's beautiful. You will never be bored. It's amazing. Last but not the least, my most favorite read of the year, of the last year, the book that I have not stopped yapping about since. If you haven't guessed it already, Our Chemical Hearts. Look at it. The way I have annotated this book. I love it. I absolutely love this book. Each and every line of this book. This is a beautiful story. This is a young adult romance. This is a book about first love, about, like understanding a person whom the world rejects and is not ready to accept. This book is about letting go and yet holding on. This book is about love and compassion and beauty, and this is brilliant. Okay, so let me just tell you about it. So there is Grace, who by the very first look of it you can tell that she has been through something that have completely changed her, and Henry is fascinated by her. He just instantly thinks that she is this person, she's this mystery that he just wants to be a part of, if not unravel it or solve it. So he just gets intertwined in her world, and he is a person living in a healthy, happy family. And when he founds this broken, beautiful girl who is almost broken beyond repair, their story, their romance, their love is painful and it's beautiful, and it's gonna make you want to sob and laugh and smile at the same time. This is that kind of a book, and you have to read Our Chemical Hearts. That's all I can say. I am so thankful to Sonali for introducing me to this book, because I hadn't seen it anywhere else. I believe that a lot of books that I recommended today are really underrated, and this book is why this book is not everywhere. Everyone needs to read this. This is beautiful. This is magical. Even if you don't like romances, you have to read this. Even if you don't like sad books, you have to read this, because this is not defined by any genre. This is just a beautiful book. This is a book that every reader just needs to read. That's it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this book. So with that, I think I have come to the end of this video, and it was so much fun talking to you guys about my favorite books of 2024, and also some of the books that became my most favorite reads of all time. So yeah, these are the books that I talked about, and I think you could tell that they are really truly loved. And if you decide to pick them up, do let me know. I love to talk about books, so if you have read any of these, if you want to read any of these, if you want to recommend me books, if you want to talk about books, reach out. You can comment, you can reach out to me on Instagram, and let's just read a lot of books and have a lot of fun. That's all I want to say. So this is a bye-bye, but I'll be back soon, and we will again talk about the things that really made us happy in life. Bye bye.